side all my life, all my one time from side to side, without you by my side, my side, my side, without you by my side, one time from side to side, peekaboo, I see you, peekaboo, I see you, looking at me, looking at you. Hold up, where you going? What you doing? Who you seeing? What you need? What you want? I said, without you by my side, my side, my side, without you by my side, one time from side to side, without you by my side, I can't go outside, without you by my side, I can't go outside, without you by my side, I can't go outside, one time from side to side.
They been on their ass, bitch, I'm on the rail. I wrap it, I bag it, I pack it for sale. Got feeling on speed out, I hit me to chill. I give it a thrill, I put it on film. Niggas facade, get applaud, that ain't real. Come to my section and flex, we can tell. I got a show and she dipping them nails. I'm flipping my L's, I know they can tell. I did it too major, they hit me for favors. Been him since the cable was cut in the cradle. What's up, only right that I do it. Colossal until I'm a boss, so they want me to fail. Look, we prevail. Tell them to point out who said it, they run it. Bitch, I'm on your tail. Know that they talking, they telling them tales. It's not hard to tell, that shit for the sale. Yeah.
Honestly, I know it's hard to believe, but you have to trust me. It's got maximum taste and zero sugar.
Stop playing games, wooden boy.
No, I'm a real boy.
Pepsi Max. Maximum taste, zero sugar. Try and believe.
What do you see here? Maybe history, or maybe it's the future.
Amarti mi consola. Amami ancora, fallo dolcemente, un anno e mezzo, un'ora.
Tonali plug-in hybrid, a new charge of sportiness.
Hello everybody, how are we all doing? It's myself, Mr. Flynn, and joining me in the comms box, as always, is the wonderful and lovely Michael Edwards. He'll be back in just a minute. He's just going to do a few things, but we've got some awesome racing action today. Everybody is in the lobby, so we should get going very, very shortly. But just some very important news. As you may or may not know, if we head to the last race results on here, as you can obviously see, it's quite a close championship battle at the moment. But what has caught my eye, caught my attention, and very, very interesting and exciting, well, I say exciting, is quite unfortunate news as well. As you may or may not know, if you're not up to date with the esports teams, Outplayed Racing have officially closed, unfortunately, which means they had to withdraw from the competition here at Ultimate Masters for Season 3. So as you can see at the moment, NLR Esports 171 points. That is after round 5, which was Saudi Arabia. Fantastic track and fantastic racing to watch. Obviously, without played racing out of the picture now, CPI and ETA Esports 121 points to CPI, ETA 119. But there is a very big gap difference between CPI, NLR, and also including ETA. So they've got a lot to do this season to try and close down that gap. So at least that'll be quite exciting to watch. And I think CPI and ETA could give it a bit challenging, a bit entertaining, and give it a good, a solid go. Of course, the point system here at Ultimate Masters is completely different, but that's going to be always exciting. We are getting into the lobby as we speak. It shouldn't be too long, around about 11 seconds time. But what I would love to know, as always, who are you rooting for on the track? And to be honest, who would you like to win? Would you like, would you like CPI to win today? Would you want NLR to win today? And bits and bobs like that. And just some more exciting news. We have got a new team joining us on the grid and making their debut today. Hopefully, I say this name correct. So there's going to be a few probably sweats going on to hopefully pronounce this name right. But I'm going to try and say it. And I'm guessing the name that's joining us for today is Team Shrew. I think it's how you say it. I'm not too sure. But as we get into the lobby, Mark Edwards, you are back. How you doing? And are you excited for today's round and race?
Yes, obviously, yeah, guys, I am back, and yeah, very much looking forward to tonight's action, obviously, here in Brazil. And I believe, obviously, it is Team Shazoo that has joined us, replacing Outplayed, who have, of course, disbanded as a team. So even though they were second in the championship, unfortunately, the team has folded. But we have a fantastic team in Team Shazoo replacing them here. So the competitive level is still going to be there across the board. And yeah, and what a way to jump into their first Division 1 race here in Velocity's Ultimate Masters Team Racing League. Then to drive around a iconic circuit that is Sao Paulo, that is Interlagos. And honestly, there's not a better track to go racing at, in my opinion.
Oh, exactly. I love Sao Paulo. It's a great track. Of course, we've had a very, I'd say, would you say controversial crashes? Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen, and then you had Ocon and Verstappen a few years ago. Do you think we could see some changes and remarks to that today, possibly?
I mean, here's the thing. Obviously, we've seen in real life where it's all gone a bit, a little bit pear-shaped with a couple of the drivers in real life, but we've seen it in league racing as well, where you're going side by side through Descida de Lago, and it just does not work. Like side by side up through Ferradrula, obviously the Senna S's as well, side by side through there, and sometimes a bit of contacts made, and of course it can go absolutely pear-shaped very quickly. I believe the first man out on track, if I'm not mistaken, is the Neverlast Racing driver of. In fact, no, it's not Neverlast Racing. I believe it's a TF10 driver of Dark about to get ourselves underway here. So I'll let you take us on a full lap.
I can attempt to see how we do. So let's have a go then. So as Dark crosses the start and finish line to start his lap here at the lovely track of Sao Paulo, down to turns 1 and 2 now. It's a very, I'd say, heavy braking zone in a downhill section. So you want to make sure you get it right, because if you get it completely wrong going into turn 1, then you could lose the rear end. But so far, Dark has been absolutely fantastic. He's got somewhat traffic ahead of him, but so far, them getting out of the way and him, keeping it on the track. He has gone off there at turn number 4, but I believe he's still going, so he's going to try and get the lap completed and get it in. Obviously, you want to get a benchmark on the board here at Ultimate Masters, because you want to get as close to time as possible, and also you get 2 or 3 more runs, and then obviously you'll see if you improve or not. But now heading down to Sector 2, possibly the trickiest part of the track is Sector 2, but heading into turns, obviously like exiting 10 and heading towards turn 11, then 12. And I think they're going to be a bit of a team game here between both Alpine drivers of TF10, giving a bit of a slipstream down to start and finish. So this could be a very competitive lap time, because the tow here at Sao Paulo is very, very strong. So as they cross the line now, it's going to be a 107.990. And to be honest, Mike, I think that's a first very good lap time between the Alpine.
Yeah, very good lap time, but Fleddy coming through with a 7.5, and honestly, we can look at the lap that Dark did there. A few mistakes, obviously, turn 4 to see the Delago running off track. Definitely would have cost him a bit of time there, and obviously, the odd little bit of apex missing in that in the middle sector, but of course that can happen. But he knows there's more time there, and there's definitely going to be an interesting session for Dark, because there's plenty of improvement to come. As obviously we got both ETA drivers of Paul and Chris going through there, popping up into P2, P3 momentarily as Shazoo Rick comes through and picks up the front row on a 7.6 early on.
Exactly, and we've got a lot more drivers coming across the line. The Haas in P17 goes to position of P7 at 107.836. That's a very impressive lap time. But look at the top three. Or should I say, wow, you could say top three. Look how close everyone is. Of course, Enzo going across the line at 107.339. But Mike, look at P1 all the way down. You could say to P10, really, or P11. It's quite close as we see contact there between the Haas driver and the Ferrari head. I'm not too sure who that was. It might have been Sacha. It is Sacha with no front wings. Unfortunate there. That might be reported and get licked into, so we'll let the stewards deal with that one. But the gap difference, Mike, is looking exceedingly exciting and also interesting, shall we say.
Yeah, I mean, what's called when it comes to Brazil, obviously, for those old enough who remember it being known as Interlagos, but obviously to the modern day fans, it's the Autodromo Jose Carlos Apache, as it is to the modern fans. But obviously, to me, being old school, it's Interlagos for me. But yeah, the gaps around here are always incredibly tight. It is a very short track in terms of a lap time, but there's so many tricky corners in that where you can easily lose a tenth, you can easily lose half a tenth, easily, gain time as well. Obviously, in the middle sector, it's all about momentum, positioning your car right, getting good traction out of certain corners, like turn 9 and turn 10, for example, in the middle sector. As I'm on board with Hen Height right now, obviously on the in lap, but he's coming through turn 9 and 10 right now, and traction in these corners in particular, absolutely crucial.
I would say it's very crucial because it's a very tough circuit in my opinion. I've raced it a few times on this game and previous games, and if I had to say, I believe it'd be sector 2 at turns 7, 8 and 9 where I struggle quite a lot. What about you, Mike? Would you say you struggle there, or are you quite decent, if you know what I mean? Am I just bad at the game in general?
Well, I mean, I would have to be decent at the game to begin with, which obviously I'm not, which is why I no longer league race. But yeah, I mean, it depends. Like, obviously, some days you're absolutely on it and you're not making any mistakes. But then there's other days where you just make one small mistake and that could be absolutely everything out of the window. And obviously, when at the level that these guys are at, one mistake is incredibly costly.
Is indeed, especially if you're fighting for a championship, as we talked about earlier about obviously as it Outplayed Racing have officially closed, which is really unfortunate to hear. And it was a very exciting championship battle between the pair of them, NLR and Outplayed Racing. But it opens the doors for ETA and CPI, but the gap difference between them two, they've got a lot of work to do. A lot of work is cut out for them to try and close the gap.
Yeah, but we've also seen in the past, obviously, like we take last season for example, we had the tale of three different seasons going on like in just one season, where early on it was Relentless being dominant, then obviously in the mid stage and now we had CPI being dominant, and at the end we had XE Sports. Could be a similar thing again. Obviously NLR have been quite prominent towards the top end with Outplayed. And obviously, recent races, CPI has started to flex their muscles, shall we say.
Yeah, I'd say so, especially in Division 2. They're looking quite quick and quite pacey there, so obviously that's what we love to see, and it could obviously get down to the wire like it did last season, because that was absolutely crazy. The last final race, that was just crazy at Spa. A lot of carnage, a lot of contact, and myself and Mike, I believe I'd say it's one of the best rounds, and we've really enjoyed that. But let's look forward then to a driver about to start a lap time. I believe it's going to be Chris. So, Mike, why don't you take us on board with, not Chris, sorry. It's going to be
Enzo.
Paul.
Oh, yeah, jump on with Paul now as Paul starts his second flying lap of the session, breaking down in towards turn number 1 and, of course, number 2, the Senna S's. Coming through turn number 3 now, the curve of the Sol on to the DRS, straight down in towards turn number 4 at the Cida del Lago. Of course, braking just as you hit the 100-meter board, 5th gear there, the gear of choice for Paul. Bit of traffic and obviously an invalidated lap there, but we come up the hill through turn number 6, Ferradrula. Is so important to get the car hooked up there as you come through turn 6, 7, and obviously breaking down in towards turn number 8. Turn number 9 now, a never-ending left-hander. Important to get good traction out there as you head up the hill once again in towards turn number 10. Of course, again, good traction needed on the exit there as we go through turn number 11. Now breaking down in towards Jun Chao, 3rd gear, short shifting up into 4th there for Paul as we climb up the hill all the way to the start-finish line, and it is nothing left to do but to put your foot to the floor. But Paul is going to bail out into the pits, obviously, with the invalidated run.
We've got K-Gat as well, a 5 grid place penalty for illegal blocking, so that's very unfortunate there. If that might be a lot of restart, I'm not too sure, because we'll get another 5 grid place penalty, so we'll keep an eye on Discord to see confirmation as Fleddy bails on their lap time and peels into the pit lane. They were up a little bit on their time, but it wasn't enough, and now we've just had Enzo cross the line. I don't think he improved either, and I really think drivers are starting to actually struggle to get a lap time together with the amount of traffic is actually on the road, with obviously 7 minutes on the clock to go. We've just had a Red Bull go across the line of Gil going to P2 at 107.452, trying to cut the gap down to Enzo, but just isn't enough at the moment. I'm currently on board with the McLaren of Luca, currently down in P9, and they are 2/10 up on their lap time. So this could be a potential fastest lap, but sometimes the game does lie to us. That's another 5 grid place penalty, so it might highly look like it could be a lot of restart, which is quite unfortunate, but this game can be a bit interesting. But as Luca crosses the line, it's only going to be P3, a 107.461, very, very close to P3. I say that, and then Dark goes P2 at 107.435. The top, I'd say, 4 to 2nd, they are very, very close on lap times, or now 5th, and you could say 6th. It's all very close right now, very even on the grid.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it looks like Dark on his second lap was able to make up for the mistakes that he made on his opening lap. Looking for someone who is just about starting the lap right now. So we've got Sasha on the out lap, so maybe we'll jump on board with Sasha in just a moment. Of course, Sasha, one of the 2 drivers not to get a lap time on the board yet, as actually now the only one to not get a lap time on the board, as WR Poison goes up into P14 there. And it looks like Sasha is about to begin the lap, so once again on board with the Ferrari, obviously the new team to the block here in Division 1. Breaking down now into the center S's 4th gear there for Sasha, making sure not to take too much of that inside curve because it can be unsettling through turn 3 now. Curve of the Sol, DRS wide open as we run down in towards turn number 4, the Cida del Lago. Breaking down once again, 5th gear, taking a lot of the inside curb and using a decent amount of the outside curb as well for Sasha as we climb up the hill now towards Ferradrula, and of course 6th gear, making sure you keep the car nice and tight to the apexes there to set yourself up nice for turn number 7. Of course, it opens up here for turn number 8 and 9, and obviously now breaking down in towards turn number 10 at the hill, and the elevation changes, making it very difficult to keep yourself composed, shall we say, as we go through turn number 12. Jun Chao as we climb up the hill now, foot to the floor all the way to the line, and it's looking like a good lap from Sasha so far. I've not seen any major things wrong with this, and he's going to get a bit of a tow from his teammate as he comes to the line, and it's P2 for Sasha. Big lap there from the Ferrari.
That's a very impressive lap time. Look how close P2 to P1 is. the gap difference between that is 14 thousandths of a second, and then third is only 95,000. So that is just insane to see how close it here is at Interlagos. And I'm going to be honest, I didn't expect it to be that close, shall we say. But there is confirmation after qualifying is done with 4 minutes remaining on the dot. It will be a lobby restart, unfortunately, so there is going to be a bit of a delay to the race. But it really shouldn't be that long, because what will happen is everyone will just retire in the lobby, so no lobby has to be remade, and then we're going to just go, and or get the grid sorted out and stuff like that. But we should only be like, what, 5-10 minutes, Mike, really, at best?
I mean, you would hope it would be a little bit less than that. Obviously, with everyone still in the lobby, you need to make sure that no one does accidentally leave the lobby, and understand that the lobby will be reset. But coming into the pits now, obviously we got Rick into the pits, and the same with Sasha as well. Both of the Ferraris following each other in. Shazoo working together as a team. Obviously Sasha now up there on the front row, splitting the TF10 drivers. Obviously Enzo out there on track right now, but I believe the Aston Martin further along on the lap, and as of course CPI's driver Kate Gatkowski.
Yes, indeed, and he's just vibing round in Sector 2, you could say, and he's having a bit of a drift there. He's having a bit of a drift competition, you could say, at turns 7 and 8. So that was a lovely drift on stream, so let's hope he doesn't do that for his final qualifying lap with 3 minutes to go. And as he rounds the final corner, as we get another 5-place grid penalty for illegal blocking. You know, this game just couldn't get any better, which is absolutely fabulous as always. But as K-Gap comes across to start his lap time here at Interlagos, it's heading down 2 turns 1, 2 and 3, and saying that never mind, because he was up on his lap time anyway and was improving, but I didn't realise. And he goes P6 to 3/10 up, and he's done a 107.476.
No, you are right. He has just started the lap. So you are right. But a 10.5 down in the first sector. Not ideal for K-Gat there as we come through to Cedar Delago, now up the hill through Ferrajula. A little bit of traffic up ahead. He wants to hope that the car stays out of the way, especially through the fast right-hander of turns 6 and 7. But now through turns 8 and 9 here, keeping it nice and tight on the inside line there through turn number 9, breaking down into turn 10. Obviously, the elevation changes around this circuit, and just the actual nature of it. 1 minute you're going uphill, next minute you're going downhill, is going to be tricky for these guys. But look at this now, and the timing between the CPI drivers. We are seeing this going to play out to perfection, because here comes the tow all the way to the line, and we're going to see K-Gad possibly improve here
on pole
into P3.
That is absolutely an insane lap time, as we see Dark and P4 are validated on theirs. Enzo, apparently in Sector 2, or probably Sector 1 time, is 30 thousandths up. Now he's 97,000 up, coming out of Sector 2 to Sector 3. And same again, you know, what CPI were doing, TF10 are responding, and they're doing the good old tow down to the start and finish. Enzo crosses the line. This is going to be a mega improvement, and it is. A 107.130. I don't think anyone's going to be able to beat that. I really don't think they are.
Well, it's going to take a bit of teamwork from these guys to get that time off the top of the board. I'm coming on board with CPI Fleddy, who's almost 2 temps up in the middle sector. So that's a big rear end snap there for Freddy coming on the exit of Jun Chao. Now up the hill. Obviously DRS are wide open now. Going to keep it very close to the inside. To the line will come Freddy, and he's lost a lot of that time, obviously, through that one mistake. Just getting a little bit tail happy on the exit of Jun Chao.
Exactly. Very unfortunate as Paul goes to P4, a 107.379. And as K-Gat retires from the session, I just can't get how close these gaps are. I have no words. As we see Luca right now, currently up on their lap time at the moment, potentially. So we'll see what they can do coming out of the final sector. And they are 38 thousandths up on their time. That could put them in P8, a potential P7, maybe a top 5. It just depends how their final corner exit was. So as they make their way down to the finish line to end qualifying. It's going to be P9. And not
Lost
even
time in the final sector.
Lost time, big time there. And definitely not ideal. Anybody else in the lap time? Yes, we do have a Zorzo NLR coming across the line now. Is he going to improve on position? He goes to P7, a 104.429. Anybody else can you see, Mike?
Sasha is on a lap right now, marginally slower in the middle sector. And without the toe, I don't think we're going to be seeing Sasha improve on the lap time here. But I have been wrong before, and in fact, I'm not this time. It's Sasha unable to find the time. Obviously, Paul not on a lap, and I think Henide on a cooldown lap as he is. Yes, and that is a qualifying over and done with. And an incredibly close field here in Brazil, and we are in for an absolute treat of a race and a good performance for the debutants in Team Shazoo with Sasha up there in P3 and of course Rick in P13.
I mean, if I'm going to be honest with you, Mike, right, looking at these gap differences right now, I think because I know we had Brazil last year for Ultimate Masters Season 2. I feel like these times are a lot closer than last season. Am I correct in saying that? I think I am, technically.
I would agree with that. Obviously, last season, if we remember correctly, there was a couple of drivers that did have racing lengths. Obviously, now it's split between no assists and line only. But yeah, I mean, definitely a lot closer this time around, and I'm expecting Division 2 next week to be close as well. But I'll let you quickly run through the order here in qualifying.
I can try to. I'll probably just do the top 10 as we're running out, down on the time. Enzo on pole position, as you can see right there, 107.130. Ghost King P2, Ferrari Sasha P3, Paul P4, K-Gap P5, Julian racing for Haas IRT in P6, Zorzo in P7, Dark in P8, Gil in P9, and then Luca in P10, hopping down the order very, very quickly. And that is basically your qualifying grid for the race. And as always, unfortunately, we are going to get a lobby restart. So we are going to switch back and think of some things to discuss. And that discussion being, Mike, rain. Could rain be potential today?
That it absolutely could, and what's called obviously Brazil, very known for throwing up an occasional wet weather condition. Who could ever forget the infamous is that Glock moment? Of course, when Lewis Hamilton won his very first world championship, and of course, I believe Sebastian Vettel overtaking Michael Schumacher in Brazil as well in the wet conditions, which of course gave him, I believe, I think it was his third world title, if I remember correctly. I think in his 2012, off the top of my head. But someone will have to correct me if I'm wrong there. But yeah, I mean, Brazil, weather can play a huge factor here. And honestly, the strategy around here will also play a huge factor because the undercut is quite prominent around Brazil.
It is indeed, and it can also be quite interesting here at Brazil about, the overcut, the undercut. What tyres are you thinking? I'm thinking, normally a one-stop works here, but if I had to say it, soft tyres can technically go long on this track. So could we see a soft medium, a soft hard, or a hard soft? Could that work into the favour of the drivers today? As obviously with a lobby restart, that entails that they're going to have all fresh tyres again, so they didn't have to worry about qualifying intentionally.
Well, I mean, from the races I've seen here at Brazil, of course, on this game, I've seen the soft tyres, it's called be stretched out to around lap 12, usually around the average now where I see them getting stretched out to. And, generally, I mean, they're good for, I want to say good for, 8-9 laps, and then they start to, drop off quite considerably over the course of the following laps. But I mean, soft medium, definitely, I think it is doable, although come the end of both of your stints, you are going to be feeling the weight a little bit more. The hards, on previous games, you wouldn't want to touch the hards because they were too slow. Around here, I don't think they're that bad, especially on this game. I don't think the hard tyres are that bad on this game around here.
To be honest, I have to agree with you, they aren't. I've tried it before on this track, and I can be absolutely flying once again. I'm not the best at this game, so I could be flying on the hard tyres when, realistically, they're not the greatest tyre to be on. But it's a bit of an interesting one because obviously tyre wear, we say it's high around this track, but it really isn't if you can really stretch the soft tyres to like lap 12. And if you're an esports driver, like to lap 15, that's just incredible because that then is hitting the territory of puncture issues. But luckily, excuse me there, luckily we shouldn't see that today if drivers don't go too long on their tyres. But I want to see rain because obviously when there's rain involved at Brazil, a lot of crazy shenanigans can happen. Drivers locking up, drivers going wide, drivers spinning in obviously into turn 1. We could get a Glock moment out of turn 12. Lots and lots of things could happen. But it just depends, really. Depends all on the race start. And, of course, Mike, any driver you might be rooting for or team or any predictions on the top 3 today?
Oh, no, now you put me in it. Now you put me in it. Oh. I'm trying to avoid the chat right now because if I don't say their favorites now, I might be in a bit of trouble. But let's see.
It's a hard one, isn't it? Because I do the same now. I try to avoid the chat because I don't know what to say. Because obviously we know the qualifying position for the top 10 or top 5 was very, very, very close. Yeah, it just depends because you never know. A slight mistake from, for example, say P10 made a slight mistake and he was actually the fastest driver and he went to pole position, but he couldn't because he made a massive mistake and error. You just don't know because of how close the qualifying grid is. I guess we're going to find out in a couple of laps, potentially.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna quickly rewind my Elgato a second because I'm trying to just summarize just how close it was. I mean, Enzo. I mean, obviously in terms of the qualifying pace, Enzo did have I think it was 2 tenths clear. Yeah, he was like 2 tenths clear at the end. So I think Enzo definitely is one to keep an eye on for the race win. I have commentated over Fleddy before, and I know Fleddy is pretty good around this circuit, so I wouldn't be surprised seeing Fleddy make his way from outside the top 10 up the order. It will be interesting to see if we can get a podium out of this, but I'm gonna go Enzo for the win.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Sasha P2, obviously for Team Shazoo on the debut, and I'm gonna go. Do you know what? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go GL Gil from P9 up into the final podium position. So there we go, guys. That is my prediction. Probably not gonna happen, but you know what? We'll go with it.
I'd have to agree with you on your prediction because that's what I was kind of going with as well. Like similar to you, like Gil to P, to the final podium. I think Enzo's got the pace, but it's hard because some of these drivers I have commentated before with previous seasons, like obviously season 1 and season 2 of Ultimate Masters, but I think K-Gat could get thrown into the mix here, Obviously CPI and ETA have got a lot of points to score on the board today, so there's a lot of pressure, I'd say, now until the end of the season if they want to close the gap on NLR. But no, it's a bit of a tricky one, I'd say. I know, like you said, Enzo was 2 tenths clear of the field, but I was going to add there as well. Enzo was only 2 tenths clear, but was that because of the toe on the final corner? Because you know how powerful the toe is on this track.
Oh, it definitely plays a factor into the qualifying times, but you got to remember that most of the guys behind him also got a toe, going up the hill on their fastest lap as well. So it's kind of equalised in that sense. So I mean, Enzo has gained a lot of time everywhere else on the track, most likely through the middle sector, where of course, just making sure you're in the right position on track. For each corner entry is so important, especially through turn 8, 9, 10, and obviously through 11 as well. But looks like we are ready to get back into the session. And now here's something that everyone will need to remember. Of course, I assume they will remember because they are, they're going to be well aware of this. But guys, make sure you remember your setups.
Yes. We cannot say it enough. Please remember, because I've done that before in a league race, and it's absolutely horrible to drive around a track with no setup. It's just the worst thing you could possibly do. It's just just the worst. Just the worst.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm also gonna say it as well. What's called your podium prediction was a bit of a cop out because you just said my one. So like, I'll pick a different podium prediction, mate.
Okay. I'm probably gonna go because I'm probably gonna go K-Gat for the win, and then
Okay.
probably gonna say Fleddy. I've not seen Fleddy much, but I'm gonna say Fleddy for P3. And then I'm probably thinking,
CPA double podium.
yeah, I'm thinking that. I'm thinking that maybe see Luca into P2. I don't know. It's hard
I mean,
because the qualifying was so close. This is what's so annoying. It's just how close it was. Ugh.
I'm sure we will find out all the answers in 36 laps time. Of course, the Autodromo Jose Carlos Apache, also known as Interlagos, is going to throw up a lot of dynamics here in this race. And honestly, I'm looking at the sky right now, and it looks a lot clearer than what we had in the previous lobby. Which, of course, I'm assuming the drivers will be very happy about that. But will we get rain? That's going to be the big question. There are clouds in the sky. Do they have some rain in them?
I mean, before the lobby restart, it was looking to be quite cloudy, but now it's looking quite sunny.
Well,
And then it's going
I'm
cloudy
not
again.
gonna lie.
I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie. I was looking at the clouds in the first lobby and thinking, my God, is this race in Brazil or is it in Wales? Because the clouds were looking like my summer. Like, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I mean, what could we get some
Hard to
rain here?
say.
I mean,
I would like rain. That would throw a spanner in the works, you know. That would be interesting. But I guess, unfortunately, Mike, as I hate to say it, we're going to have to play the patient game and be looking in the skies for overcast and then potential dark overcast and then turning into rain. But all shall be said when we get some racing action any moment, any second. You know, we're just playing the patient game.
I mean, yeah, we are playing the patient game. Of course, we're looking at the
here we go.
the stewards. Here we go. As
Here we go,
go
then.
to the
So,
5 red lights.
5 red lights here at Brazil, Interlagos. A lovely track to be racing at. And it's lights out. And away we go. It's a very good start for the top two. K-Gat in the background making up for some positions. And so far, into turn one, hardly no contact between the drivers. So that's lovely to see there. But obviously, K-Gat now up into P4, making some moves left, right, and centre. No change for the provisional top three at the moment. Zorzo making a position up into P5 and trying to challenge for some more positions. There's lots of positions like Fleddy moving up into P9, happening left, right, and centre. It's all going on with Gil. Oh, it's a crazy lap one.
Henheid went off at turn 4, and of course that's opened the door. Now it's side by side with Boyolulu through turn 6 and 7. This is absolutely fantastic stuff from these two in the Alfa Romeo and the Alfa Tauri. And honestly, actually, I'm going to ask you the question: what do you think of the new name change that is coming in for the Alfa Tauris?
It's an interesting one, to be honest. It is an interesting one. Like, it's just, why would you just Visa? How do you say it? I can't. Visa. What? It's something red cash. Confusing. I don't know why. I don't like the new name. What about you? I
mean, Visa Cash App RB.
I don't like it.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's Visa
I don't
Cash
like it either.
RB. Can you imagine, Mike, commentating? And we'll come to that in just a second as we're going to see a Ferrari potentially make a move on Gil down to turn number 4. And that's actually going to be Gil going up the inside there of Paul to take P6 for now. And the Ferrari looking in the background to get a move done on the Mercedes, but the door closes right there, and then the Ferrari will have to wait just for now. But yeah, Visa Cash App Red Bull. Can you imagine saying that on a commentating race? I would just say, here comes Yuki Tsunoda down the inside. I wouldn't say Visa Cash App, as we see the Ferrari there making a move on the Mercedes up into P7. Just, I don't think that's the correct choice for Red Bull to do that, to be honest.
Well, I mean, Red Bull do Red Bull things. As I was just on board with Smalley, as Smalley just taps the rear end of Luca there in the battle for P10. As we got Fleddy on the back of Paul for P8 here, as it looks like Fleddy is going to be able to get it done. Sasha momentarily having the fastest lap of the race, of course, just beaten by Zozo, and then of course Ryan they're posting in a quicker time. Ryan up into P12, trying to make his way through the field as we got side-by-side action between Fleddy and Luca there, and said Fleddy's going to get that position down as Smalley Balls gets through on pole.
There we go. So tyres are quite interesting. A lot of the strategies are going for the hards. Only 4 drivers on the mediums and 1 on the soft tyres, who's currently down in P12, so they've got a lot of time to gain and a lot of time and mojo to do. As saying that, Ryan trying to go around the outside of the Mercedes there, as you don't normally see an overtaking opportunity move there, down at turn 9, and he's done and dusted. P11 for him. Now it's P10 to get past the Haas as we make our way down, all the way down to turn at number 12, 13, and then approaching the final couple of corners of 14 and 15. And look at that, the grip difference between the Williams right now and the, shall I say, the hards between, or mediums between softs is crazy, because the Williams just threw into P10 as we see more action.
Sorry, turn number 1, Sasha and Kei Gatkowski there through turns 1, 2 through the center S's, and now through the River de Sol. Kei Gatkowski getting a little bit squeezed out there, and of course going to be overtaken by Zozo, as well as obviously DRS now activated, as well as Paul has left the session.
No.
Paul has lagged out of the session. Hopefully Paul can get himself back in ASAP, currently down in P13, and of course will fall down the order even more with the AI in control of his car as Julian gets through ahead of him. But yeah, Sasha was under a bit of pressure from the CPI driver, and taking advantage of that little battle was Neverlast Racing's Zozo there. And what we're going to see now is a decent little train going on, where obviously Ryan's going to be able to try and make some overtakes happen on those soft tyres. And you can see he's all over the back of Luca now for P9, and he's potentially going to go for this into turn 1 again. But he's got such a good run coming up the hill into the slipstream, and look at this, it's just absolutely fantastic from Ryan. Up into P9 goes the Neverlast Racing driver, as we got Rick getting through on Kei Gatkowski there for P5 up ahead as well.
Indeed, indeed. And I think Netherlands Racing are just doing everything they can in their power and will to potentially just go really aggressive for the last couple of rounds, because if you think about it, if you've realised that Outplayed Racing have closed and now you've got a massive advantage between the teams behind you, then if you be aggressive in the final rounds, you want to score as many points as you possibly do. And I think that's what Netherlands Racing are going for. They're going on the aggressive strategy, starting on the softs, and they seem to be slightly, I say slightly, more faster in straight line speed compared to everybody else. They're probably running a very aggressive setup, which does mean their tyres will wear out a lot more than others on the track right now.
Yeah. Did you say Netherlands Racing?
I think I did by accident, yeah.
What are you, Netherlands Racing? Then yeah, Neverlast Racing. But I mean, they do have a gap in the championship right now. But it is definitely going to be interesting to see if anyone's going to close up. Of course, the point system here in Velocity Ultimate Masters is a bit different than the traditional F1 point system. So it is very possible within two rounds that they could be thrown right into a battle with an ET8 or a CPI, for example.
Yeah, that is very, very true. And what's interesting right now is Sasha was really gaining on the Red Bull for P2, but just didn't have enough road ahead of them, or should I say track ahead of them, to make a move. But Sasha really starting to turn the pace up like now, and could potentially make a move into provisional P2 if all goes safely well. Maybe the top 3 trying to work together to pull away from the drivers behind. But at the moment, it's looking unlikely, as everyone, like you said, just in a massive train. It's like we've got an esports race going on. What's going on here? Absolutely crazy. I'm getting esports vibes right now. As we can see,
Well,
Luke
I mean, it's a
potentially
good
making a move.
job. It is a good job that everyone here is representing an esports team. As lap 6 now, about to begin lap number 7. Enzo still in the lead, holding that gap, but it looks like Ghost is closing in. Ghost just backs out of it as we got Ryan making a move on Fleddy into turn 1 down the inside. Ryan on an absolute charge from the back of the field up the order.
He is indeed making a charge for the field, which is absolutely lovely to see. And I was actually on board with Rick and Zorzo for a little bit of a battle there, but Zorzo doing all he can at the moment to defend P4. But no, Ryan absolutely flying on those soft tyres. I feel that could have been the right strategy call, you know. I know it's only lap 7, but he's doing a pretty good job at the moment, where he currently is. But then it's just the DRS and how powerful it is, because he could get left behind if this train continues to unfold.
Well, I mean, the train is definitely going to help. Definitely going to help like certain drivers in this race. I mean, Ryan's definitely going to benefit from the DRS. Obviously, once his soft tires begin to fall away, obviously the major thing will be when we're going to get a split in the field, because of course that will play a huge factor. As Luca gets a fantastic run on Fleddy there, and gets that overtake done. Up into P9 goes Luca, as we got an overtake for the lead, and Ghost getting through on Enzo there.
Love to see it, don't you? Enzo and Ghost fighting it out. Maybe Ghost has the pace over Enzo. You never know. But look at the Ferrari in the background. He was looking and just didn't get a very good exit there. And Enzo right on the rear wing of the Red Bull, but not close enough to get a move done. But it's looking exciting as we see moves jockeying for position at the bottom of the order for P13, 14, and 18 and 19. Bits and bobs like that. But no, it's looking very exciting. Sasha trying to get a move on here. And maybe Ryan will try to get a move on a little bit more, as his tyres are going to start fading away a lot more than everyone else in the hards and the mediums.
Yeah, of course. And Sasha trying to force the question here for Enzo and Ghost in this race. Of course, closing all the way up to the back of them, but is unable to find an opportunity to go for an overtake as of yet. Lap 8 of 36, about to begin lap number 9. Ghost in the lead for GL. TF10 Enzo in second place. Shazoo's Sasha in P3. And honestly, a very good opening 10 laps here into the campaign for Shazoo. Both drivers inside the top 5.
Exactly. Yes, it is, and it's very exciting to see everybody within, obviously, the train, and battles going left, right, and centre.
Oh, here we go.
Excellent racing.
Battle for the lead.
Here we go.
4. Oh, fantastic. Enzo down the inside into to see the Delago there, and Enzo now up into the race lead once again. Sasha had a little peak, but didn't want to commit to it, and obviously risk getting any wing damage at this
the Williams
stage.
side.
Oh,
hello,
Zorzo.
He just
Down
sent
the
it.
inside.
Is he going to try and hold around? He's going to try and hold around the outside. Does he? As we make our way down to turn 6 and 7, and he does. Wow, that was a very aggressive, you could say, move on Zorzo there, but the Ferrari tucks him behind and may try to get past Zorzo once again. We'll see what Sasha could do as they got the battery switched on. And now K-Gat in the mix here may go for a potential move on Rick, as he's gaining and gaining and gaining and gaining so much in a straight line. Decides to go to the inside down to turn 1, and he gets the move done. Late braking. Not done just yet though, because the Ferrari's come back, and there's someone round. Oh, Zorzo's been tagged, and I think Sasha.
Look at Gil. Look at Gil trying to make it 3 wide. He's
is it going to be 4? I thought it was going to be. What on earth is happening here? It's absolutely crazy racing. Gil getting in the mix here. Rick in the background. Oh, that was incredible. Unfortunate though for Zorzo getting tagged there, dropping all the way down to P20. But wow, that was fantastic. I thought it was going to be. It was 3 wide at first point, but I thought it was going to be 4 wide. I thought it was going to be 4 wide at one point, which I got a bit scared for a second. But what's also interesting is that the top 2 are pulling away from P3. The gap right now is 1.1 seconds, which isn't ideal. So Ghost and Enzo, if they work together here, they could pull away. But we'll see what Gil's straight line speed is like, because he could potentially take the train back into DRS range And we'll see what the Aston Martin do. Is the Aston Martin going to put up with much of a fight? No, he isn't. He's going to let the Red Bull go. And the Red Bull should just pull him back into DRS. But I just think they're too far back now. I think Ghost and Enzo are just going to run away. We'll see what happens, though, as we exit turn 3.
Yeah, I mean, Gil has got himself back into that DRS train. And honestly, I was going to bring it up as a potential possibility for the two GL drivers. Maybe Ghost would have, potentially backed off like just a little bit, just allow Gil back into that DRS train. Because, of course, now they're in a double podium position for the Red Bull team. And, of course, Ghost and Gil are able to work together now and potentially cause Enzo a few problems. And if they both get ahead of Enzo, then they're going to be able to play that team game.
Exactly. And we'll just see how that gets on and how that goes, because that would be quite interesting to watch, especially on the track. Some fair racing. Lap number 11, there is some sort of carnage going on, but it seems to have calmed down just for now, as Ryan up into P6, and I am surprised that those soft tyres are still going on the Williams. I am surprised by that, as we see someone gaining very closely in the background, and that's going to be the one and the only, the fabulous K-Gat, just able to get superb exits in the Aston Martin, and I don't think he's unfortunately not close enough to the Red Bull to get a move done, but potentially next lap it could happen, as Ghost King gets ever so close to the rear wing of Enzo, but doesn't decide to make the move just yet. And actually Sasha and Fleddy going for it, and a bit of lag there as Sasha pops forward, and Sasha's gone completely off track there. Ooh. Where is Sasha going?
I have... So, look, there we go, lag.
Okay, it's just lag, okay. So, Sasha back into P7 with Fleddy. They were on top of each other. Okay. So
PG stream, guys. PG stream.
Yes, PG stream. We do keep it family friendly here. Oh, it's happening. So has Fleddy gotten round? Oh, Sasha has left the session. Okay, so it was definitely lag. So hopefully we can get him back in the lobby. As Fleddy up into P7 now, and Sasha will just drop through the order now because they're in AI, so the air is going to be a lot slower and brake a lot early. So some easy moves happening right now, and not ideal for Sasha to have that issue, but unfortunately it does happen. So hopefully they can get back in the lobby very quickly, and hopefully the AI sticks within the DRS train, shall we say.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, someone who also got affected by lagging out of the session was, of course, ET8 Paul down there in P15. Was able to get back in the lobby and is still within the DRS train. So hopefully Sasha will be able to get back in as well. But looking at it, I mean, you just saw Sasha there again overtaken by Julian, and Julian is over a second off the back. So as big battles at the front, as we got Kigakowski and Rick side by side coming through turn number 11 now in towards Jun Chao, as it looks like Kigakowski will just about hold on to that, but we saw both of the Red Bulls going side by side as well, and that has cost them quite a bit, because they lost out quite considerably to Enzo there, who was momentarily was 9 times clear, but both of these guys able to close back up now with the aid of DRS.
Exactly. DRS, the drag reduction system, will really help you out, especially in a straight line when the rear wing opens up. And if you have some battery, gosh, that would be crazy in a straight line, as we have Luca right on the gearbox of Fleddy. As something interesting you might want to know, Mike. It's only lap 14. Looking at batteries when you run aboard the drivers, they have the battery, and Fleddy's under 10% of battery usage. And also, we know here in Brazil, the battery can be very tough to try and recover. So, is that a disadvantage to Fleddy and a potential upper hand to Luca to get past the Aston Martin on the exit of the final corner?
I think it all depends on the next couple of laps for Fleddy, because if Fleddy starts making small mistakes now, just missing a couple of apexes here and there and just not getting on the traction effectively, Fleddy will fall away and will have to use ERS to get back within DRS range. But Yeah, as Ghost King now looking to get the move done on Enzo. Up into the race lead now goes the GL man, and he'll be hoping that his teammate in behind in Gil can also get through as well. As Kigakowski once again getting a good run through turns 1 and 2 in the center S's. But I don't think it's going to be close enough to go for a move. But will Enzo come back at Ghost King for the race lead here into Cida de Lago? No, he will not.
What is interesting though with Enzo was when you're watching that little battle between oh hello, we've got yellow flags. Come back to that in just a second. What on earth has happened here?
Poison going down the order, and I think Julian also lost a couple of places there. So maybe a bit of contact between the IRT and WOR drivers.
But yes, as I was saying, on the final exit of the corner, as we were watching Kgat trying to get a superb exit, which he did to stay close enough for now, I think Enzo, near turn 14, just had a bit of a wobble, and he slightly lost the back end of his car, which then obviously allowed Ghost King to come out the final corner and get past him. Does that mean we are seeing a disadvantage of tyres starting to fall off now, would you say? As we see Ryan and P6 might go for P5, never mind, he goes into the pit lane. He boxes on lap 16.
Yeah, Ryan boxing lap 16. Most likely going to go for a set in the medium here, I would imagine.
Surely, yeah, imagine.
So a soft medium strategy there, possibly for Ryan. And obviously we'll have the undercut as well, which is usually very strong here around Brazil. I don't think the tires on the hards are going to be falling off at this moment in the race, but I mean, if anything, I'm looking at the likes of Rick, Fleddy, and Luca and Smalley Balls on the mediums right now in 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, respectfully, and their tires will be, let's just say,
interesting.
Getting a little bit, a little bit interesting right now. As I mean, the pit window for them, obviously, if they were to go into a set of hards, is open right now. If they're going to stretch all the way out to a set of softs, they would want to stay out for another 6 more laps. So that could definitely get a little bit tasty with the tyre wear.
It could indeed get tasty. What could get more tasty is...
Rick's in.
Oh, Rick is in. And what's interesting, look at the lead. They're fighting for the lead once again. Ghost potentially trying to go defensive as Enzo was trying to go down the inside there. And as Enzo's fighting, Gil in the background could get a position change done here if he helps his teammate out. As we make our way down to turn number 4, they're going to be 3 wide into turn 4. And both Red Bulls back out, which allows Enzo to say, thank you very much. I'll go straight through the middle and take P1 again.
Kgat getting a good run out of the Cida de Lago, and he's not going to get a good enough run to go up the hill through Ferrazula. But
no, it's a bit silly to send it there, to be honest. So tucks in behind again, and he'll wait for another opportunity to open up. But it's interesting. Red Bull team, they're colliding with each other, which you don't want to do in a team constructors championship, is collide with your teammate, because if you do that, you're going to add friction and a bit of aggression between the pair of them, and you're going to start losing positions. Like, was it really a good idea for Gil to make it 3 wide there, or should you just let them go 2 wide and then try to get a better exit on the pair of them and then take P1 back again? Like, is that the way you got to look at it? As we might see Ghost King down into turn 1 take the lead again, and he's going to fight it. He's going wheel to wheel of Enzo and then no more as we make our way down into turn 1. But Enzo could fight this one back again, because look how close he is to the rear wing of that Red Bull. And maybe Ghost King could try and back him up somehow and slow him down just a little bit in a straight line so his teammate could get through here. But it doesn't look like Enzo's going to make the move at all. So lots of pits happening right now. Yellow flags as someone's... I don't know what that was for, actually. That was on pit exit. I don't know what it was for.
Well, someone might have clipped the wall in the pit lane exit. But one thing I wanted to bring up as well, and this was something that I did just clock. Obviously, Ryan went for the undercut on this train 1 lap before Rick came into the pit. So look at the gap right now between obviously Rick battling with Zozo right now.
Yeah.
Look at the gap between them and Ryan.
Oh wow. That is
I think Ryan's in the net race lead right now.
I think he is potentially, because obviously they're all on worn tyres, as we know. But, as I say that, someone's in the pit lane. That's Ghost King into the pit lane. Oh, interesting. Is that early for the hards? say that. There's a lot of people into the pits on hards. That's
Nah,
an
nah,
McLaren.
it'll be a set of mediums on the going on now. So
Yeah,
everyone
true.
be looking for
Right.
a set of medium.
It's right on board with Ryan then to see what he can do down to turn 1 then. And he's just blitzed
Running
by.
through.
He's just through. So, like you say, if there's no safety car now till the end of this race, I think Ryan's done it. He's just got to somehow maintain his pace, maintain his tyre wear, as we see cars in the background trying to go for a move, and that might be the Williams, but I don't think Zorzo is close enough to Rick.
And also as well, Rick and Zozo getting the jump on Ghost King as well. So
Yes.
I mean, right now, the net podium as it currently stands is Ryan right now in the net P1, Rick in the net P2, and Zozo in the net P3. As Ghost King obviously has come out now in the net P4, should have the pace to close up to the back of Zozo and Rick and get within that DRS train. But once in the DRS train, has to time these overtakes very well, and we should be seeing the leaders coming in very soon. But look at Poison and Ryan side by side coming through Jun Chow as Ryan now is going to go ahead and take that position as Poison just does not have the grip on those tyres to compete, and into the pits he'll come along with the likes of Gil and Kay Gatkowski.
Indeed, indeed. And Ryan there trying to fight Poison. May have lost time just a little bit there, but a bit of a squeeze, I'd say, by Poison there. But gone off the track there's Luca to lose out to P3 and might have the Haas all over behind him in just a second as Flady's up into P2. But I really think, I agree with you, Mike. I really think Ryan can make this strategy work, you know. As we saw there, the Aston Martin was making his way out of the pit exit, you know, coming across, you know, the pit lane, bits and bobs like that. But Ryan able to do what he does at the moment and keep this pace up and net P1. And now if he was net P1 and you're in his window, you'd either be thinking, I keep this pace up to build the gap, or would you be hoping for a safety car to then box for a fresh set of soft tyres? Or is that too risk to take?
It depends
That's it,
when
the
the safety car comes out. It depends when the safety car comes out, as we got Enzo and Luca into the pits now. Enzo has stayed out longer compared to the rivals that he was racing with out on track, so we should be seeing Enzo come out. I'm gonna say like somewhere close to like what's called that battle between Burak and Quats down there in P. Well, now P 14 and 15, but
yeah,
we will see. We will see.
Indeed, we will. And what's also interesting is that obviously P1 and P2 have a quick look at their tyres. They are on 20 lap mediums and they're still going on those tyres, which is absolutely crazy at first. But are they going for a different call? Are they going to go on the soft tyres towards the end of this race?
Well, I mean, there is one man who's already on the soft tyres. That is, of course, Luca down in P14, and obviously right behind his teammate. You'll be hoping his teammate does the due diligence of just moving over for him and making it easy, as Luca will want to try and use these soft tyres to the best of his ability, as Fleddy and Smalley is into the pits, and we should be seeing Dark in as well for TF10, and there he goes into the pits.
Ryan.
And Ryan now takes the race lead, and it is a fantastic strategy that has come through for Ryan so far.
Indeed it has, and what really plays into Ryan's hands is, of course, that gap is substantially coming down with DRS activation, which is right now it's 2.9, but will probably increase to 3 seconds. Rick is probably going to be fighting the Red Bull. If they fight and they lose time, not only is that putting Ryan in an advantage, it's also putting Ryan in an advantage once again, because the more they fight, the more tyre wear they're going to use, which is also exciting. That gap is dropping, of course. We'll see what happens nearer to, I'd say, lap 26, lap 27.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, quick little update. Obviously, Enzo was the man in first place before the pit stop phases. He's now in P9, so I mean, unless he comes back late into the race, obviously with the fresher tyres, might have waited just a little bit too late to come into the pit lane.
Exactly, as we might have a move between Gil and Zorzo, and we do get up into P5. Zorzo just in the background though, still there, and still there.
Oh,
And-
Luca down the inside of Enzo.
Oh.
Double overtake there for Luca. Up in the P8 as Enzo just overtook Paul with DRS. Luca came out of absolutely nowhere,
Huh.
able to get a double overtake on the
Look at
pavement.
Enzo.
Luca on the soft tyres, absolutely flying. Enzo potentially is going to be trying to look back at him, but no, we'll sit him behind. And honestly, Luca, as he picks up a 3-second time penalty, I was about to say Luca on those soft tyres should have enough pace to close up to this train up ahead and drag Enzo and Paul with him.
That's so gutting, isn't it, to get a penalty? But to be honest, a penalty is a penalty at the end of the day, but Luca is absolutely flying on those soft tyres for the next couple of laps, which will actually help out Enzo beneficially, as Dark gets slapped with the 3-second time penalty as well, currently down in P18. But this train is technically still here. We've slightly lost, obviously, some drivers within the train, but you know, it's not looking too bad. As we're going to see a fight, actually. It's actually going to also almost be 3-1. It could be a double overtake for the Aston Martin as we head down into turn 1. Is it going to be a double one for the Aston? Could K-Gap do it? And he doesn't, unfortunately. And Gil takes them both, really, on the exit of turn 3. And Gil up into P4. We're getting some lovely battles right now. And the gap to Ryan and Ghost is 2.4 at the moment. So the Alfa Romeo is probably just working together with Ghost to catch Ryan. So all is to play for at the moment.
Yeah,
there is still laps to
absolutely,
go here at Brazil. Still laps to go.
Yeah, and obviously decent little strategies going on as well. Obviously you got Rick on the set of the hard compound tyres, Luca on the set of the softs, same with Fleddy and the Smalley balls, and everyone else on the set of the mediums. It is gonna come down to whose tyres are gonna be best come the end of this race, because of course we've got Luca who is flying right now, and of course we will see Fleddy and Smalley start to make their way through the likes of Burak, Paul and Enzo themselves on soft tyres, but whether or not they will have enough grip on those tyres come the end of this race will be another question. Lap 25 of 36. Ryan, 9-lap-old mediums, leading the way, but that gap between himself and Ghost is coming down. And Henhide up there in P3. Very good going from the WOR esports driver.
Exactly, and he's doing a lot of work right now. And yes, very impressive. So we will definitely keep our eyes peeled towards him. P3 at the moment. Very, very impressive.
Enzo gets through on Zozo as I think Zozo now starting to feel the pain of being the earliest out of everyone on the track, because he's on 10-lap-old mediums and he's starting to fall away compared to the rest of the guys up ahead.
Exactly, and having another look at the updated tyres, of course, Zorzo, as you were saying, Mike, the first victim to hit 10 laps on those mediums, which is something you don't want around this track, especially when you've still got a few more laps of racing to go. Ryan as well is starting to suffer.
So, I mean, it was a good strategy to get him into prominent positions, but as the tyres continue to wear, it's going to be difficult for the likes of Ryan and Zozo to really fight these guys off.
Oh, yeah.
As they close in with DRS as well, it's just going to be a waiting game for the likes of Ghost and Henhide, Gil, Kigakowski, and everyone as well. I'm interested to see what will happen coming the end of the race with Rick, obviously in P6 right now, in the DRS train. Almost in the DRS train with the race leader now, as the gap is down to 1.2 seconds. Rick at the end of this race on those hard tyres should be in arguably the best position to try and get some overtakes done.
Yeah, 100%. And Fleddy in the background gaining on some positions and really, really pushing on those soft tyres. Let's see how I mean, 4 laps on the softs to the end of this race. It's doable, but towards like the end of the last couple of laps, it'll probably be a bit of a struggle, as we see ahead of him the McLaren and Luca, and Enzo almost going wheel to wheel at turn number 12 there, which was quite scary, but also exciting to see. But will the McLaren get ahead down into turn 1 with his red light flashing? He's going to switch left and right and isn't able to get the move done. And Ghost King is so close to getting in DRS with Ryan ahead. Now, If you
Oh,
want
he
to play
doesn't.
this,
He doesn't need this.
Oh.
As he's got a defend now from Henhide, who's going to go side by side with him through the Decida Delago, and Henhide does back out. But that obviously Ghost did not want to do any battling there, but it has actually still worked out well for him, taking a decent line through Decida Delago as he is now within DRS range of Ryan, and now Ryan is going to start to feel the pressure.
He
The
is indeed.
cooker is just been turned on. The oven has been preheated, and we're about to see a fantastic battle for the race lead.
To be honest, I think if Ryan can just keep his mojo and keep calm and collected and let the two behind fight it out, he could do this. I think he could do this, but he'll be struggling. I'd say lap 32, his tyres will be dead-ish. Corner exits he'll be struggling for, as we're going to see the Red Bull of Gil really gaining then on the Alfa Romeo for P3 as he head down to turn 1. Oh! The Alfa makes a slight mistake there actually down to turn 1 and gets a back ahead of Gil. But K-Gat now getting interested in the action. Is he going to... Oh no. Oh no, not this again. Who's going to come on top? It's going to be the Aston Martin taking P3. That was absolutely fabulous. But no...
Enzo getting through on Rick as well in behind that as well. So the TF10 driver starting to make overtakes. It is all going on here, as you mentioned, on lap 28 of 36. Ryan now has
Enzo!
Enzo absolutely trying to make these overtakes count.
He's going for
side
it.
by side with Henhide coming into turn number 10. Now down the inside. Enzo up in the P5, and what I was going to say, obviously Ryan now is going to have his mirrors full of Red Bull as Ghost King now all over the back of the Williams with DRS, should possibly get the overtake done, but right now it seems like the man on the mission right now is that man in P5, TF10 Enzo.
Exactly, and it's just absolutely crazy what we're seeing, and just lovely to watch as well. As we're going to see more moves in the background between Fleddy and Luca fighting in jockeying position for P number 8 as Luca gets a horrible exit out of turn number 2. And Ghost King now within attack range of Ryan, as we've almost got, what would you say, 6 laps of racing to go. It's going to be a tough one, but the current tyre situation, as you can see right there, look at the tyre wear starting to kick in. Ryan on 13. Ghost King now hitting the 10 lap mark with drivers behind him about to hit 10 laps. And then you've got the soft tyres. Could the soft tyres come into play? That's what I want to know, because that is interesting, because Fleddy is flying on those tyres. Same with Luca. We'll just see what happens, because Rick and Heidi, they're going to be a big bus with how old their tyres are. So we'll just see how that goes, I guess. That's all we can do. We can pray that they can do some damage to potential drivers.
Here comes Ghost.
Here we go.
Ghost
down to turn
for
1.
the race lead.
He's going to go for it. Oh, Ryan
half
going
hearted.
oh. Ryan going
half-hearted
defensive.
from Ghost.
Maybe Ryan's going defensive and he's going to fight this one, even though he's on all the tyres. But is he going to be out of luck? Down to turn 4 we go on lap number 30. Ghost isn't going to send it. I think you're right, Mike. I think he's just trying to pile the pressure on Ryan right about now.
Yeah, and the issue is, the issue is for Ghost is the man directly behind him is obviously Kikakowski, and honestly, he is right there, ready to pick the pieces by ear. So if Ghost does not go for this move very soon, he's going to end up being he's going to end up being overtaken by K-Gat. And that is the issue that Ghost is going to face here. Obviously, he does have his teammate in Gil in P4 that can maybe back him up here, but it's not going to count for much if K-Gat decides to send one down the inside of Ghost, who half-heartedly goes for an overtake on Ryan. So now, once again with DRS, Ghost King going to close up, should be able to get his move done, depending on where he's going to break again. And this time, he is going to go for the move, and he is going to get done.
But is Ryan going to react? Turning on the battery.
Nope, here comes K-Gat.
There goes K-Gat. Here comes... Ryan's going to go for it.
No. Oh, I thought he was going to get free right there. As
Ryan.
Side by side with the Delago.
Wow,
Ryan
okay.
trying to retake the race lead. Does take the race lead once again. And ladies and gentlemen, we are getting a nice little scrap beginning to brew between these
Here we
four
go.
drivers right here.
Oh, someone's off. Red Bull's round. Oh,
Enzo.
it's all contact behind. Enzo causing that slight problem for Gil to lose the back end. And I think he actually hits Heidi there for a second. Hopefully, there's no damage to the Alpha and the Red Bull. But Enzo getting it all wrong. Right,
Sorry, that was so close
I know,
to turn
yeah.
11 right there between these two. And yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what happened there. I was actually on board with Gil. It looked like potentially a bit of contact in behind, but maybe just getting a little bit onto the curbs. I'm not sure,
Yeah.
but Freddy's going to make that move now down in
Soft
towards
tyres are
turn
now
number
coming into
1.
play.
I mean, the soft tires are eventually going to fall off here at the end of this race, but Fleddy trying to make the most of the soft tires while he can.
comes Ghost.
As he is trying to, yep, he's going to try to get onto the back of Ryan here. Ghost. Honestly, Ryan doing a fantastic job
He
here
is.
and holding these guys up, but
Wow.
I mean, Ryan right now is literally parking his car in all the right spaces right
That's
now.
where you
He
wanna
is
be
not
right now,
leaving
yeah.
everything. He's not leaving anything up for chance here. Ghost King, maybe a little bit of frustration starting to set in now as Ryan's defending
Oh,
his.
K-Gat though.
Yeah, starting to put him under pressure from K-Gat now as Ghost, unable to get away through on Ryan thus far. Lap 32 of 36, about to begin lap 33. 4 laps of racing to go here in Brazil. Ryan right now for Neverlands Racing leading the way. GL's Ghost King in P2 looking to make the overtake happen. Gil down there in P7, of course, trying to recover
Contact
after
between the
this
pair
time.
in the top two. Oh, they've both lost their rear ends there. It's really starting to cook here on lap number 33.
Rick. Oh, Rick, I thought Rick was side by side with Henry there, but
he
he's
was gonna
got
go for it
them
there.
close on the back.
I don't know who to keep on board with. There's so much going on. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I keep on board with Rick. It's getting very stressful now because I've never seen a battle like this. Oh, K-Gat. I thought K-Gat was going to go for a move there. It was quite close there, but all the Ferrari going down the inside of the Alpha.
Oh, this is big for Rick if he can get this done as we go through turn number 8 and 9. And look at
they're
this.
still
Rick,
there.
Down the inside into turn 10. This will be fantastic if
Wow.
Rick can pull this off, and he's got the traction. He's got the outside line. But
Still.
Henhide will fight this. He will fight it, but the
Wow.
grip level just full away for Henhide there. And Rick now up into P4. And this is what I was saying earlier.
This is fantastic.
Rick, at the end of this race, will come into it more being on those hard tyres as we got Kigakowski getting through on Ghost King
here we go.
with DRS and
Now we're starting to
Kigakowski now
see.
up into P2 and in prime position to put Ryan under pressure here. And honestly, this is a good
saying
hole of
that.
points right now
Saying
for CBA.
Saying that, the Aston Martin's got no battery. Ryan's got a full battery package to offer on lap 34. So Ryan do all he can. 2 wide into 4. That was sighted nearly a Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton 2021 moment as the Aston Martin went off the track there. It is all going on. It's starting to calm down just a little bit, but Rick getting past the Alpha for P4 as Julian there, 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. It's been carnage. We've had Enzo drop down the order completely to P10 after making contact with some drivers. It's very difficult in that situation when you're trying to, get past drivers and stay ahead of drivers because you're all so bunched up and close together here at Brazil. But there's someone off the track completely mowing the lawn, and that's going to be the Williams completely off and losing maybe another position or two. And he does indeed down to P13. But heading back to your provisional race winner potentially on lap 35, penultimate lap of this race, and Ryan's still ahead with a full battery to use with Ghost King in P2, K-Gap behind in P3, Rick starting to push now. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if we're going to get a drag race to the end of the line on lap 36.
Gil, big send on Fleddy there into turn 4 to see the Delago as Gil's going to make that work. That was Daniel Ricciardo-esque right there from Gil. Obviously, Danny Rick from the Red Bull days and the Red Bull getting through there. What a lunge that was from Gil. And honestly, I'm not going to lie. I mean, from the way it's looking right now, Ryan obviously with the ERS advantage, but lack of DRS here. Ghost is not considered. He's not lacking in ERS either. So Ghost right now could put Ryan under pressure. And obviously, if you look at like the championship as well, CPI would gain a decent chunk of points on Neverlast Racing here if things were to continue the way they are. Obviously, Ryan trying to hold off Ghost King here, who's going to move to the inside. Ghost down the inside in towards turn number one.
Wheel to wheel.
As they go through the center S's. And look at K-Gat getting a better run through the center S's, but he just unable to get the traction there.
Here goes Ghost King, though.
Yep,
He's going to
Ghost
try
King.
it. He's going to look to the inside. Oh, he backs off. That was a bit brave, and I thought he was going to do it, but he didn't. In the background, the Hash trying to make a position up on Fleddy for P7. I think we're just going to keep our eyes with the top 4 right now because it's all looking quite close and scary.
Ghost down the inside, have a look again. Ghost right now, he just has a lot more grip than Ryan. Obviously, Ryan's tyres a few laps older, but you're seeing the effect of this right now as Ghost King's just trying to get his car alongside any way possible because he knows he's got better grip right now. And we are going to come through. Yeah, we are getting a drag race, and let's not count out the likes of K-Gat and Rick here. As we fly up the hill one more time here in Brazil.
And I think Ryan's done it.
Hold on? Ryan is going to hold on, I think, as we go to the line. Ryan takes a victory here.
Oh, Gil just got Heidi on the line for P5.
Wow. 12 thousandths of a second there between Gil and Henhide.
Now that was fantastic. I have never witnessed a race here at Ultimate Masters before. Every team, right, on the grid today performed to excellence. Like that was some fantastic racing to watch. So we're going to get the podium celebrations up on our screen right now, and Ryan's strategy. How on earth do you make that work? Would you say, Mike? Because that was a bold strategy, to be honest.
Hey, I'm just saying this right now. Like before we even go any further, Ryan, my driver of the day, right here.
100%. I have to agree. I couldn't disagree with anybody else.
From last on the grid. Again, I want to say it again. From last on the grid, the only man in the first stint to opt for the set of the soft tires, climbed his way up into, I think it was P6 when he made his pit stop, got the undercut, got 3 seconds clear of the field, and then was able to hold on for the race win at the end. Ryan, like, absolute perfect strategy from him. Perfect time with the pit as well, getting a fantastic undercut and just having the car placement to just hold on to that race win. Like every single time you saw Ghost and K-Gat tried to go for the overtake on him, he just had brilliant car placement to defend from both of those guys, and thoroughly well deserved in my opinion. But yeah, what a strategy from him.
Exactly, and that was absolutely fantastic to watch today. Of course, your race winner from last to first, it's Ryan here at Ultimate Masters, P1, Ghost King in a comfortable P2, P3 for K-Gat. The rest of your drivers there on my screen right now. These are provisional results. Obviously, probably some Stewart reports to go through, and they will look into that and see what they can do to justify the results if needs to be changing. So obviously, as always, keep an eye on the Discord and the Twitter for more information and more updates on what happens with the results. But Mike, that was a lovely, lovely race today at Brazil. Is there anything else you might want to add to your thoughts and feelings and craziness that we just witnessed on the final couple of laps?
Yes, same again next week in Division 2, and do you know what? Same again in a fortnight's time when we return for more Division 1 action.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the way it's going, I think we're going to have a crazy battle between CPI and a lot of other drivers, and I think it's going to be a close drivers' battle for the trophy for Season 3. At the moment, NLR will have the upper hand, but it's just the fact is, how can the other two teams do in the last couple of races to perform, do well, and get their hand on the trophy? Like Mike said, we'll be back in a fortnight's time. Div 2 will be again next week on Tuesday, so make sure to stay tuned and keep your eyes peeled for that one on the Twitch channel itself at Velocity Ultimate Masters. Keep an eye on that. From me, Mr. Flynn, I am signing off, and from Mike.
Yeah, I just want to remind guys what the next circuit will be in a fortnight's time here in Division 1. Of course, we'll be heading to the home of British Motorsport. That's, of course, the British Grand Prix. We're going to Silverstone in a fortnight's time, so we will be back then. And yeah, I will also be signing out. We'll catch you in a fortnight's time, guys, and hopefully you enjoy the rest of your week, and be back next week for Division 2 action.
Indeed, guys. Take care, and we'll see you in a fortnight's time. Bye!
They been on their ass, bitch, I'm on the rail. I wrap it, I bag it, I pack it for sale. Got feeling on speed out, hit me to chill. I give it a thrill, I put it on film. Niggas beside get applaud, that ain't real. Come to my section and flex, we can tell. I gotta show it, she dipping them nails. I'm flipping my L's, I know they can tell. I did it too major, they hit me for favors. Been him since the cable was cut in the cradle. What's up, only right that I do it. Colossal until I'm a boss, so they want me to fail. Look, we prevail. Telling the point out who said that they run it, bitch, I'm on your tail. Know that they talking, they telling them tales. Just know how to tell, that shit for the sale.
Honestly, I know it's hard to believe, but you have to trust me. It's got maximum taste and zero sugar.
Stop playing games, wooden boy.
No, I'm a real boy.
Pepsi Max. Maximum taste, zero sugar. Try and believe.
What do you see here? Maybe history, or maybe it's the future.
Amarti mi consola. Amami ancora. Fallo dolcemente. Un anno e mezzo, un'ora.
Tonali plug-in hybrid, a new charge of sportiness.